This headache really catch me today, and I have meeting.
Was it like this morning it started?
As I was on the road, I just started feeling it
Back of your head?
all of my head.
Ah.
It's lack of sleep. Am I inside the camera here?
Yes, you are. All right, it's 16 minutes past 8 a.m. on a Monday morning, 11th day in the month of November 2024. Smooth 98.1 is the dial, and it's that time to get into the world of sports on the locker room. My name is Ayokunmi, and of course, I never do this alone. I never have the conversations or shed the banter around alone because the one and only Tega Supreme is in on a Monday morning. Tega. Drum roll. Okay, sorry, drum roll. I didn't do drum roll.
You have to do drum
I have to
roll.
find the
You
effect.
have to
Sorry.
bring out pom poms and all those things
I'll
and
work on
waving
it.
them.
I'll work
All
on
right.
it.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. I'm still needing sleep, but what happened this weekend?
Plenty.
Disappointment upon disappointment. Yes, some people's tickets cut. I've told people don't be betting. It's not good. It's not good, man. But it's because Pep Guardiola is a Christian. That's why he cut your ticket. He cut it as a good Christian. So we'll be talking about we'll be talking about what's happening in Manchester. We'll touch on the London Derby. We'll also talk about Barcelona. Yes, the crèche closed just on by its own.
There was no nanny in the
No
crash.
nanny. The boys were just doing anyhow. So we'll talk about the Barcelona crèche, as the Flix crèche. What else is there to touch on? This is international break.
Right.
So we eventually talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I think we play on Thursday, so we'll talk about that a lot more by Wednesday. But we're looking in great form already, with our goal scorers just coming into the country.
Semen doing it again.
Yeah, so we're going to have Osimhen. Don't just
okay. Apologies for
that. Osimhen. All right, you have to be respectful. All right, so we have all of that. And more in the locker room. Meanwhile, some people's goods, they knocked them out of the first round of the playoffs. Ha!
I would not hear anything. No, everyone was quiet too.
That's why it was quiet. Because if they went to the next round of the playoffs, even America will make money. But as it is now, everywhere quiet. So we'll talk about those people's goods this morning. All right, all of that more in the locker room this morning. Before we do any talking, Ayokunmi, tell us, how can we be a part of the locker room?
All right, I'm glad you asked. You can join us on the locker room this morning by sending those messages into us on WhatsApp on 0809 444 0981. The studio line is 0201 4489981. We're also out there on YouTube. I can see LK and of course Uchena already. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Those are the ways that you can join us on the locker room on a beautiful Monday morning. Let us begin our conversation in the world of tennis. Yannick Sinner. I'd have said the man is a sinner. But anyways.
What is a sinner?
Tell guys, you should have said it.
Cut twice.
World number one. Yannick Sinner brushed past Alex de Minaur after Taylor Fritz defeated an irate Daniel Medvedev on the opening day of the ATP Finals.
All right, so in case you didn't know why Daniel Medvedev and Andrei Rublev are friends, their tantrums on court is evidence that they are friends. Yes, Andrei Rublev's on by now, we should be getting him mental help. He shouldn't play again.
Medvedev, Rublev.
They're very close friends. We should be getting Rublev, help. We shouldn't let him play till we get him help. But Medvedev's own is always a bit of a comedy because he's so angry, and when he's angry, he's so funny. And I'm sure it must be infuriating to him that people are laughing when he's angry. But he says the funniest things when he's angry. You need goggles. What are you doing here? Might as well be in the locker room because you're not even doing the umpire. He just says things that you'll be laughing, but at the same time you say this is not appropriate behavior, Daniel. And so it happened yesterday. He was frustrated in his match against Taylor Fritz, his first match against Taylor Fritz. Besides, from this group, you'd expect that it will be Sinner and Medvedev coming out of this group. Unfortunately, his first match against Taylor Fritz, he lost. in straight sets, and he was frustrated. And so the more frustrated he gets, the more mistakes he makes. The more mistakes he makes, the angrier he gets.
Ah,
And the angrier he gets, the more he talks. Oh my goodness. He can talk for 2 days.
dominoes just falling into each
Exactly.
other.
Meanwhile, if you met him on a normal day, he doesn't have much to say.
That's
He
tennis gets him going.
but when he's angry, he's one of those people that he just runs like a tap. So yeah, bad day for him at the office, but he lost his first match. On the other hand, the Alexina just did the Alexina walk. Went on
Mm.
court, looked at Alex Dimino and said, "You want to play?" Alex said, "Let me try." And
Let
then
me
he
try.
he beat him for good measure. So those were the expected results on the men's side. Carlos Alcaraz's group will be playing today. Let's see how that pans out for him.
Let's see how that pans out. I mean, Sinner's playing on home soil in Turin,
Yeah.
so that's a good one for him. And oh, quick one for all those who, when they get angry, they look cute or comical. I mean, shout out to all of you.
Exactly.
Your anger is valid.
Yeah. Young guys.
Anger is valid. All right, let's talk about women's tennis now. Talking about the WTA finals. Coco Gauff became the youngest player to win the WTA finals in 20 years after a grueling 3-6, 6-4, 7-6 victory over Olympic champion Zheng Qinwen in Riyadh on Saturday.
They played over 3 hours. Just so you know, that's how
Kilode,
that's how grueling it is.
Kilode.
Marathon, they finish in 2 hours.
They played 3 hours of tennis.
They played 3 hours of tennis. And these girls were going at it. I was just like, oh, to be 20 again. It's not like my 20s, I was doing what they were doing. It was pound for pound boxing.
Hmm.
Think it was no. Think about it. Every single ball, I don't think any ball that they played with is still useful. All the thread would have come out of it. These girls were they put everything on court. Their athleticism, their court coverage, their heavy hitting, everything came out on the day. No point was easy. Even the aces weren't easy. Because
Hmm.
by the time they hit that ace, Yusuf, you'll be like, okay, there's no need to run after that. The girls were good. And so first set, Coco Golf was still finding her feet, but Kim Wen Jen just went off. She had a better first set. I think it came down to who could defend their sets, their service game more.
Okay.
And Coco Golf struggled where Kim Wen had several Coco Golf had several breakpoints on Kim Wen serve, but she could never convert because just when she looks like she's going to convert, Kim Wen is like, oops. And then the one time Coco Golf faced breakpoints, she was broken. And so it was first set was a question of who can protect their service game. Second set was can you run? Because they were playing lines and angles second set. So if you were not athletic, second set is where you died, which is
Hmm.
why Coco Gauff's defense came into play and she was able to take that. Then the third set is who can blink the fastest
Ah.
because they were breaking each other. It was do me I do you like the P Square song. So Coco Gauff will play great and King Wen will be like I want to top that. So it was back and forth until eventually Coco Gauff was able to take it. So brilliant finals. If you paid money for that finals, you owe the WTA some change because they played more than your money. So brilliant one, but Coco Gauff at the end of the day won the ATP finals. Young girl, people forget she's only 20. She's so mature in
If it feels like she's been around for so long.
apart from the fact that she's around for even the way she carries herself, she's very professional. She's one of those people that her composure is A class. And I know she's a first child. And some people say, oh, usually first daughters are usually composed. But her maturity is amazing. And so it came on court, but her maturity did not show on Twitter because she just came on social media and said, hey, those people that are saying I have a bad season, is my season still bad?
I would have done the same at the end of the day. But man, 3 hours of tennis.
Yeah.
They will carry me out too after that because what?
And the girls were bouncing out too. That's why I say it's good to be in your 20s. She's 20, Kinwen is 22. They are young. What else can they do but run? Can't try that in your 30s.
Rough play. All right, let's move over from tennis and talk about some football. Yes, we are finally heading over to La Liga, and to talk about the crash that's, well, Nani and caretakers were not, doing the work. Leaders Barcelona fell to only their second La Liga defeat of the season at Real Sociedad with their teenage star Lamine Yamal absent through injury. So no Yamal, no party.
No Yamal, no party. Well, they're going to complain about many things. There was the offside goal that shouldn't have been offside. That shouldn't have been ruled as offside. Then there was it was offside. It's not even offside is
Mm.
straightforward.
Yeah,
But
offside or not.
offside is straightforward. But it's when the flag was raised. You know how if there's an offside, then the player now comes back, and then the ball gets to him when he's onside. It's onside.
Did the ball get to him before? Sorry.
He was offside when the ball first got into the box.
Okay.
When the ball got to him, he was
It was
on.
onside.
But he was in interfering.
Aha.
Aha.
So that is it.
So that's how it was interpreted as interference. I don't know how to explain
It's
it.
kind of like when the player is deemed to be interfering with the goalkeeper, something like that.
If the ball passes around the line, they'll be like, "You're interfering." If I'm not touching it, if I'm not touching the goalkeeper, how am I interfering?
Well,
but hey, there was that. But that was not the issue yesterday. Goal ruled as offside or goal not ruled as offside is not the issue. It's the fact that after that they didn't have shots on target. They had shots at goal.
we're not
They
on
just
target.
didn't have. They played for 94 minutes. Shots on target. And so that is the problem with Barcelona. So yes, Yamal was part of the. You could tell he was missing in the match because that wing play that you saw um, wasn't there. But when Danny Olmo came in, there was a lot more activity. However, still, it was just that tying everything together that was the problem. So there were always going to be days like this for Barcelona. Unfortunately, it came against the Real Sociedad side that everybody thought was going to lose because they had lost four straight. And so, Sociedad, as much as they're a great team last season, they've struggled this season. So, if when you saw this matchup, it would be Barcelona getting all 3 points. Unfortunately, Barcelona could have played for 2 days and not scored. So, it was one of those days. I think at the end of the day, they'll sort it out. But what this result means, and Real Madrid's result yesterday, where they absolutely played brilliant football, just to tell everybody they've come back. I know some of you will say it's only Osasuna, and you can only beat the team in front of you.
That is true.
Period. So they won their match. What this means is that they are now 6 points. There's a 6 point cap between Barcelona and Real Madrid, and Real Madrid have a game in hand. So should they win that match, then maybe the La Liga will be decided by the El Clasico.
Very interesting times. And Tega, just before we go for this break, I'm just trying to remember the last time Barcelona played a game, 90 minutes, no shot on goal. And Barcelona this season, bearing in mind how they've been scoring
goals are plenty.
left, right, and center, not having a shot on target.
I think people jinx them. Because people are making so much noise about the number of goals they scored.
They scored 5 in midweek.
Yeah, people have been making noise about the number of goals they scored this week, and so the minute people start making that noise, the gods of football was like, let me sprinkle some salt. That's it. They couldn't score this weekend.
All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back in, we're going to be talking about the big one at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea and Arsenal was a 1-1 draw.
These people that jinx it.
I'm not complaining.
You're not complaining. I was so disappointed yesterday.
Then said they should collect L.
Yeah.
Their shoulders getting too high.
No, look, if they want to lose, let them lose like 4-2.
4-2 or 4-0. 4-0.
No, how can they not score? I like, see, when Barcelona score goals, it sweets me. They know how to, they score goals. They don't just put the ball in the back of the net. They score goals.
Sorry, don't be angry.
Yes, you have to beg me now. Now that I have small headache.
Okay. If they see tapping, they should not tap it. Yeah, no.
No, it's too simple.
It's too simple.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
Let's turn around. Let's do a 360 and then see if we can score with the back of our heel.
I saw the stats like with 11 shots, none
on target.
In 90 minutes.
In 94 minutes, 94.
It didn't do me like.
It do you somehow, Abi?
Yeah,
you can imagine me that I was watching the match, and I was just like, oh,
Tega, this guy keeps sending messages about table tennis. So when will you talk about table tennis? Doing it from Aja. Is table tennis in the news? Has it been in the news?
So there's table tennis, rugby, cricket. Which one? Do you understand how inconsequential? Ouch.
Well, at least from a Nigerian perspective.
If Aruna wins no, let me not say major, because table tennis has a lot of tournaments. That's the thing about table tennis. They have a lot of tournaments. If Aruna does something great, I'll talk about it. Until then,
Okay. Madrid beat the same Osasuna that beat Barca by 4 goals to 2, so it's a big deal. Mm,
mm.
It didn't. It usually mean like that.
It's not mathematics, because we were here when Barcelona destroyed Real Madrid.
It don't really
No,
work like
but
that.
truth be told, Barcelona was in such a dark. Sorry, Real Madrid was in such a dark place that any win was necessary.
It's such a dark
Ah,
place.
they're still there. They're still lurking around the darkness, but it's
They
more
need a
light.
run of wins.
Hmm.
And we're back. Welcome into the locker room on the Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life, and definitely love Sports Station. It's a Monday morning, and Ayokunmi is here. Tega is also with me in the building, having a great conversation around the world of sports. And we are looking to you to share your thoughts with us as well. Hey, we'd love to hear from you. So, WhatsApp is one way you can do that. The number is 0809 444 0981. The studio line is 0201 4489981. You can also find us on YouTube or streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Drop your comments. We will definitely be taking those. All right, Tega, where are we heading to right
Let's
now?
let's let's go to Stamford Bridge.
Right, Stamford Bridge is our next port of call, where Pedro Neto dealt a fresh blow to spluttering Arsenal's Premier League title challenge as the Chelsea winger's superb strike rescued a 1-1 draw in the London Derby on Sunday.
Yes, and I will still say Arsenal dropped 2 points, and I'm saying that, keeping in mind the run of form that Arsenal have had in recent times. But if there was a good reason to bounce back, a derby is usually it. Unfortunately, now they find themselves 9 points behind Liverpool when they could have just been 7 points behind Liverpool. If and only if Kai Havertz had scored that last minute goal, just push the ball in the back of the net.
Hmm.
Just throw your body at it, every part of your body but your hands. And it would have been 3 points and 2 goals. So they dropped 2 points. What I would say is both teams approach the game completely differently. Maresca, understandably, approached the game cautiously. Again, because against the big teams, he struggled a little bit. So he applied small wisdom. Some people
Hmm.
will say it's fear, but he had to put in some caution that, look, I'm playing against a big team. You don't just go out and start rushing the hot rice. You have to, take your time to savor the
That's right.
the meal. Um, Ateta, on the other hand, his team was playing that way because of the run of results they had in recent weeks. So both teams were kind of playing with their handbrakes on. They were more afraid to lose than they were determined to
To
win,
win.
which is strange for a derby. You see both teams in a derby do that, but like I said, because of where both teams were coming from, and so it didn't set up much fireworks. In the first half, there were one or two moments, but it didn't set up much fireworks until Neto started to eat Ben White's lunch.
Hmm.
And the minute Neto started to eat Ben White's lunch, Saliba now became nervous because he was now looking how he was going to cover for Ben White. And that made Gabriel nervous because you mean I'm the only one in the middle. And so once the Arsenal defense started shaking, then the Chelsea players were like, we can test these people. So that's when the real fireworks came in, and that happened mostly in the second half. But tough one. Arsenal gave them 70% possession or 60% possession in the first half. Like, hold the ball, we'll just play our ugly football. And then they came out a little bit more in the second half. Unfortunately, one goal was not enough. There was one goal correctly ruled as offside. I don't know
Right.
why Havertz didn't just hold his run. It's a free kick.
And there was lot of space in
Do
front
you
for them to
understand?
actually
Just
exploit.
look left and right and adjust your run. But that was a brilliantly worked free kick. And then of course you saw the chance that Trossard missed. Now some people say Gabriel Jesus was offside. I always say put the ball in the back of the net first.
Let the refs
Yeah, let the
decide
refs
that.
decide. It's not your job to decide offside. Your job is to put the ball in the back of the net, and he skied that. So Arsenal had chances that they could have taken all 3 points. They just didn't. Um, so what that means, like I said, is they're 9 points behind Liverpool. Tough one. By this is November, and they're already falling behind. So when we get to the Arsenal months where they give away 3 points, what now happens?
Well, I mean, one thing they can take out of that game is that at least Martin Odegaard is actually back, so that
Martin
should
Odegaard is back. So Bukayo Saka was holding his groin.
and give with the left, take with the right, something like that.
All right, so let's quickly rush through the next story before we start taking in your messages.
All right, next story, we're heading over to the Serie A, the big one that went down yesterday night. Napoli held Inter Milan to a 1-1 draw on Sunday and maintained their lead at the top of Serie A as a host of teams now line up to contend for that top spot. They're
Yeah,
there, like,
yeah.
we are
So
here.
Napoli looked indefatigable and they looked unbeatable, but in the last few weeks they've looked like they're already tired. Everybody looks like we are in November playing football, and Napoli looks like they're already in March. There's just that weariness. They're second to
I
most
wonder
of the ball.
why.
Yeah, I think when they're flying high, and then they had one bad game where they struggled. All of a sudden, morale just dropped. Um, and then the Lukaku firepower he used to, energy that he used to give. I don't know. Um, I think they're missing that too. Napoli is missing that, so that's a problem for Napoli. Because yesterday it was Inter Milan that looked the team more likely to come up with points. Napoli did have other moments where they could have scored, but Inter Milan just looked a more confident team. Not maybe not the more well put together team, but the more confident team. So it's a struggle. I think Conte, where Napoli are right now, it's not a question of what they're doing tactically or physically. It's what they're doing psychologically. And Conte has to find a way. Maybe use this international break, to see how he can get his team, to be gingered up, if I can say that. All right. So let's
Most
quickly touch
definitely.
on Rude Boy, because
Yes.
in fact, let me just go to Rude Boy.
Rude.
So Manchester United won their match yesterday. In case you traveled, 3-0. 3-0. The most beautiful goal, Gamacho, as usual. Um, Three observations. Number one, Rashford is done. If I, in fact, Rashford and Gabriel Jesus, Arsenal and Manchester United just collude and give them away to charity. Don't collect money from them. No, if you collect money from them, you shouldn't go make heaven.
Wow.
If you collect money for Rashford or Gabriel Jesus in this their form,
Are they that bad?
you shouldn't make heaven. Let's leave that. So Rashford is done. Manchester United needs something else. Højlund is not the guy that anybody thought he was. He may have had a fantastic season before he moved to Manchester United, but that may have been a fluke season, because even his positioning is questionable. For a big lad, he's easily pushed over. I've not seen that kind of thing. What is he? Physically, he's struggling. Tactically, he's struggling. Technically, he's struggling too.
All the metrics.
He's done. So he's not the guy that. And then number three, yes. So Manchester United players, you people can play football. That's all I want to say.
No, it was tactics.
No, see, it's morning. You people can play this football.
Tactics held them back.
I just want to ask, if you're Manchester, because it's a tough one. Now, Ruud van Nistelrooy played 4 matches, won 3, drew 1. So
Scored 11 goals.
I was telling somebody, it's not the result, it's the performance. Even Casemiro that people were abusing since they're calling him pensioner, everybody has changed mouth suddenly. Nobody's asking about Kobe Mainoo again, because Casemiro has just rolled back the years to his Real Madrid years. So the question is now, if you are Ruud van Nistelrooy, I know what he said. He said, "Oh, I'm going to be an assistant coach." But if you're Ruud van Nistelrooy, does it make sense to stay in Manchester United or to leave? Because they're clearly playing for him. Or whatever it is he's selling, they bought his hook, line, and sinker, because they played differently. So if you're a Rude Boy, Would you say, you know what, Manchester was here and you went to bring Amorim? Or would you just humble yourself and play the devil's advocate? When Amorim asks you for 1 plus 1, you tell him 11. So they'll suck him and you take over. All right, if you're a rude boy, what will you do? The numbers to send your messages to are
0809 That's 0809 440 Studio line is 0201
In fact, let's start with the Manchester fan in the studio. What do you think about with rude boy situation? And I keep saying rude boy is Rude Van Nistelrooy. I just used to call him rude boy when he was a footballer.
Rude boy, rude.
Yeah, remember.
Anyways, I think that to start with, it was a breath of fresh air, really. And he set the team up differently. He could see things differently. And one thing that I actually admired, especially in that game against Leicester, is his reading of the game. He saw that Rashford and Dalo were stinking the place up. Didn't wait for 60 minutes. He took them off. Brought in
Dalo wasn't bad, but
well, I mean, he saw what he saw. And Dalo, truth be told, in the last couple of games has not been 100%. Let's not deny that. I mean, and I think that Ten Hag was kind of holding that team back in terms of maybe his setup, and because you could see there was a difference in the way they were playing, the way they were pressing, going for every ball. It was completely different.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So if you're a rude boy, what do we? Okay, we have a phone call coming in.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
I'm on Tega there. Brilliant but very caustic. Let me talk about a team in the conference league or is it Europa Cup now? Mine is not serious thing. And it's all good for me when I hear that some players play for a particular coach. You are the one degrading yourself. Destroy yourself because you don't want to play for one coach. No good trouble by you. I'm only concerned about what happened to Barcelona yesterday. I hope they win it, but I've never been a fan of that don't record VR. I've watched football for almost 40 years. I hope they will not import the madness of England to Spain with VR. Yesterday was a good goal. I think it was off as you described, but later on. So I don't know why they canceled that goal. Honestly, I hope they will not bring the madness of England to Spain. Good morning, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I don't think it's a question of guys playing. I think it's a style. There's music that you play at a party and people will dance to, and then you play another music. It's not that people are not happy to be at the party, they just don't know how to dance to that music. I think that's what it is with managers. So Eric Ten Hag's style was a bit stifling for a lot of Manchester United players, but with Rude Boy, they're expressive. All right, let's take your thoughts. All
right, WhatsApp messages coming through aplenty. Iwa from Nuru says, I think this is the first time in Pep Guardiola's managerial career that his team has lost 4 matches in a row across all competitions. Although in Bayern it's debated. He lost 3, then 1 on penalties, blah, blah, blah. Potatoes.
Yeah, I thought he did lose 4, but he will go on sabbatical. It's not hard.
There's also in La Liga, I believe Barca were clearly robbed last night as VAR incorrectly ruled out Lewandowski's goal as offside. A hard pill to swallow for Hansi Flick and his boys. Josh says, Dear Tega, Madrid beat the same Osasuna that beat Barca by 4-2. So it's a big deal. Okay, all right.
Okay.
Emeka says, all those of you that have written off Arsenal for the title should remember that in February last season, Liverpool were 7 points ahead of Arsenal, and in May, Arsenal finished 5 points above them and 2 points behind City.
Please, what's this person's name?
It's still long. Emeka,
we are going to remind you 2025 May.
He says, I prefer to chase Liverpool than chase City. In Rema's voice, baby, calm down.
Okay.
All right. Tayo says, Chelsea best at drawing games. If you score them under 2 minutes, they'll equalize. Rude Boy with the perfect record for Man United. Amorim, over to you. Tega, that's how they played for Ole Gunnar. Arsenal, Otilo. Havertz doing undercover work to undermine Arsenal. Napoli must not win this Scudetto. Why now? And Holland remain humble for Ballon d'Or. Okay. Who's talking to us? Ifedayo says, as an Arsenal Football Bottling Club fan, ouch, I give up this season. Let them prepare for next season. It's still November now. Calm down. Since Arteta have decided not to sign a potent striker, Amorim should not allow Ruud van Nistelrooy to be his assistant for his own good, or else he will also be sacked at the end. I mean, Tega, you alluded to this, actually.
If you ask me, I say, but Guys, they scored 11 goals so that you. I don't know what to do.
Mayowa says Rude Boy should keep his shining white shirt because that was only shirt that was glowing too before Man United stained his white and turned it black. The international break is coming at the right time for Arsenal and for Man City. The EPL is hard. True story. All right, on YouTube. Okay, a couple of messages here. El Kedoroba says, I'm just glad today isn't a banter day for Chelsea. We keep growing game by game, moving inch by inch. A good game at the bridge yesterday. Top four is our priority. Uche Nawoko, it says, United is having a bad season, but just 4 points behind Arsenal. A good win against Leicester. Little progress to welcome the new coach. Liverpool showing good form and City struggling. Abedu Richardson says, check out the Catalan losses last weekend. Pep lost, Messi lost, and Barca lost as well. The title is
you.
Liverpool's to lose. Flick's cooking is getting burnt. Madrid, over to you.
Just one match, and you're saying that he's cooking just one match. We'll see if the bands one, and it's a good time to take a break. You know, you lose, you take a break. He can use 2 weeks to readjust. But let's see how everybody comes out from the international break. For the next 2 weeks, though, it's Nigeria versus Ghana.
That's what I'm talking about.
We are there. All right. Thank you so much for sending in your messages. Thank you for streaming on YouTube, and thank you for tuning into Smooth 98.1 FM to listen to us. So we'll come your way again on Wednesday, hopefully with the new list for the Super Eagles players.
Right.
Have a great week.
All right, Tega, thank you so much and have a great week. See you on Wednesday. And thank you all for keeping it tuned to Smooth 98.1 and the Locker Room as well. Keep it tuned. We're not going anywhere. More great music. And then 9 o'clock, we'll get talking on Lagos Talks.
Yeah, still talking on Lagos Talk?